Good morning, everybody. This is now October the 8th, and this is Sports Freak from the D coming at you, and let's talk real ball. This week, I'm excited about a couple of things. I'm excited about the Major League playoffs, and I'm excited about college football. We saw some exciting, outstanding games this weekend, both in baseball and in football. But I'm going to start with Major League Baseball. We saw the Rockies get swept by the Brewers 3 games to nothing. What I gotta say about that is the fact that the Brewers rightfully won. Their pitching staff was really outstanding. The way they did it was using their bullpen in every 2 or 3 innings. That was incredible, incredible. That's a tough bullpen that they have. There's something to be reckoned with, sort of like the Yankees, but I'll get to that later. As you saw with the Rockies, they just ran out of gas. They had nothing to fight with anymore. There was too much traveling for that team, and I blame Major League Baseball for that. When you made the Rockies go back to LA to play that stupid extra game, you really what you're saying is you're gonna get knocked out because we're gonna run you out of gas. We're gonna make you travel all over the country on a daily basis. If that game wasn't, which was in my eyes, still wasn't necessary, the way it should have been done is they should have gone head to head what they did in the season. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Dodgers won 12 of the games that they faced each other. Well, the Dodgers are the divisional champions, and the Rockies would have become the wild card. You didn't have to play an extra game to decide that. Instead, you did, and the Rockies ran out of gas. They had to go to LA and then travel back to Chicago the next day. If it would have done the way I think it should be done, they would have gone from the East Coast to Chicago, rest one day, and then face Chicago for the playoff, for the wild card. But instead, all that traveling just they ran out of gas. And if you notice, all the home teams won this weekend with the exception of the Yankees, and the Yankees were playing in Boston. Come on, that's a skip a hop away from New York. It's a short distance, but all the teams that had to travel a long ways, they all lost. Atlanta had to go to L.A. They lost both games. Cleveland had to go to Houston. They lost both games. Yes, the home team may have been the better team, but I think the series would have been a lot tighter if it wasn't so much traveling involved. With that, it leads to Yankees and Boston. I said it last week. That's the number one rivalry in sports. And I've said it at the beginning. I'm a fan. I'm not a fanatic. I realize that I think, and I still do, believe that Boston is the better team, more complete. But the Yankees put a chink in that armor, okay? They beat David Price, and they made him look human because he has been very good in the last few weeks. But for some reason, that guy had always struggles against the Yankees, and to top it all off, he has struggles in the postseason. Well, they show their ugly head. They rose up and showed their ugly head this past Saturday. The Yankees knocked them around pretty good, which leads to this. Now they go back to New York, played 2 of the next 3 games. I think the Yankees have the advantage on that. They're going with Severino tonight. Boston's going with Nathan Eovaldi, an ex-Yankee. Eovaldi beat him during the season. But I think I'm going to give the advantage to the Yankees and Severino. If Severino gets them through the 5th or 6th inning, absolutely fantastic. They will turn it over to the bullpen, and I'm safe to say that it's going to be lights out. Tomorrow, the Yankees can come back with Lynn. They can come back with Sabathia. They can come back with even A.J. Happ. Either way, I just think the Yankees have an advantage by playing at home. They are a very good home team. And I think they're going to win that series. Now, let's go back and talk college football. What an exciting weekend. I saw some good things, and needless to say, I saw some bad things, which reminds me of my old days in South Florida. But let's start with everybody's favorite team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay, Alabama did their usual stuff. They went ahead and scored 50, 60, 100 points, whatever, but they beat the crap out of the other team. Now, Mr. Saban happened to criticize the student section because it was not full to the limit. You know, you're never going to win the battle when you start having arguments with your home fan base. You're just not going to win that battle. I don't think it's necessary. He has to realize that they were playing Louisiana Lafayette, not exactly the top 10 ranked team in the country. And they were heavy favorites, about three or four touchdown favorites. In the middle of the college season, listen, I don't know Tuscaloosa, but I'm pretty sure students can find other better things to do than go watch that slaughter. So quit criticizing your fan base. You're not going to win it. You have one of the biggest, largest fan bases in the country. You are facing a weak opponent. You are a heavy favorite. Concentrate on your next opponent, which is Missouri, coming up next week. Missouri, I don't know. They're a decent team. They can give you problems. But we thought Mississippi State was going to give you a problem. We thought Texas A&M was going to give you a problem, and you dropped 50 points on those two teams. So I don't think you're going to have a problem with Missouri, but just take care of business, okay? Because come November the 3rd, guess where you're going? You're going to play at LSU. And yes, LSU just got trounced by Florida, but LSU is still LSU. You have LSU coming up on the 3rd. You have Mississippi State coming up on the 10th. And you finish with the Iron Bowl against against Auburn. So concentrate on what you control. You don't control your fan base. You control what products on the field. Mr. Saban, just concentrate on that. That leads me to Kentucky. Kentucky suffered a tough loss to A&M in OT. But you know what, Kentucky, you control your future. Okay? Shake it off. You played a good game. Whatever, blah, blah. You lost. But you got Vandy coming up at home. Vandy's a dangerous team. Vandy, I consider Vandy like Northwestern. You know, if you don't be careful, they can beat you. Hello, Michigan State, are you listening? So take care of Vandy. Concentrate, shake it off, come back, boom. Then you go to Missouri after they face Alabama, which two things can happen. One, they can get slaughtered by Alabama and pisses them off. Or two, they can get slaughtered by Alabama and it demoralizes them. Either way, concentrate on winning the next two games. Okay, those are the next two games that are important. You're going to have one loss, no big deal, and then you got to face, and you're going to go play at home against Georgia, which, looking at your schedule, to be honest with you, I have you losing that game. That will only be your second loss of the season. And from the rest of your schedule, it looks to me that's the only one, because you're going to be facing South Carolina. No, hold on a second. You're going to be facing, you're going to be facing Missouri and Georgia at home, and then absolutely nobody's until you face Louisville at the end, which is your arch rival, so be careful with that. But I don't see you losing any other game but that Georgia game. That would make you only two losses. That would put you up there in the big bowl picture. Now I'm going to go to my other favorite team, not the Florida Gators. Remember after the Kentucky loss, I thought that the Gators were a better team than they showed. They gotten better every week. And this week they proved it. They proved it against LSU. And let me tell you, they handled LSU. They beat LSU at LSU's game. They're a lot better than people thought, and they're showing it. Now, this week coming up, they got that pesky team called Vanderbilt. Hello, Vanderbilt. Northwestern, Vanderbilt. Florida, take care of business. You have destiny in your hands. You control it. Okay? Beat Vanderbilt. Don't get caught looking ahead to November 27, which is Georgia. Take care of the first business first. You take care of Vanderbilt, then you go and play in the world's biggest cocktail party in supposedly neutral site Jacksonville. Not. That's your home base, okay? So you take care of that, and let's see you against Georgia. If you really are good, you should be in pretty good shape. Because even let's say you lose against Georgia, that will give you only two losses. I really, really don't see you losing too many games after that or before then. However, you're going to play Vanderbilt, then you go at Georgia. Well, okay, not at Georgia. Then you play Missouri at home, You play South Carolina, which is another dangerous team. You got to be careful with them. You're going to beat the heck out of Idaho before you go to Tallahassee. You are the better team between you and FSU. I hate to say that, but you are. Okay? However, it is a rivalry game. We will be waiting for you. Okay? We already lost to Miami. We got to take care of our business. But we will be waiting for you. You can't take us too lightly, even though you may be the better team. Which leads me to my favorite team, which is the Florida State Seminoles. This weekend against Miami, against one of our rivals. Yes, there were times that we looked very good. Oh, it's a moral victory. Here's what I think of moral victories, okay? Being from South Florida, living in South Florida in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, there were a lot of moral victories that we had. You know the kind where you beat him up and down the field, you beat him in every stat in the book except the scoreboard. Well, that goes as a loss. Okay, there is no such thing as a moral victory. Okay, I went through all the white rights. We lived through all the white rights where we left Orange Bowl shaking our heads, going, "How did we lose that?" We beat him in the rushing, we beat him in passing, we beat him in first down, we beat him in every aspect of the game. And look at the scoreboard. They scored more points than we did. So I don't care. I don't care about my moral victory. To me, they suck. Now, last week I mentioned the fact that I was not happy with the idea that the Florida State Seminoles were turning the ball over quite a few times. They were still suffering from that. They got away with it with Louisville, but I didn't think they could get away with it with Miami, because Miami was the original inventor of the turnover chain thing. By the way, Dora the Explorer back, that thing's got to go. But anyway, whenever you have a team down by 20 points going into the fourth quarter, here's what you do. You put the foot on their throat and you twist it. And you get them out of their misery. You don't start turning the ball over deep in your zone and let them back in the game. That's why you lost. It wasn't a bad call by the ref. You lost because you started turning the ball over deep in your zone. You can only ask your defense to hold them off for so long before they start scoring points. Okay? So you are responsible for your own demise, as they say. Now, this week's schedule, you got Wake Forest coming up. Wake Forest has given you problems the last few years. You struggle against them. So you got them at home. Take care of them, okay? Because you got the big boy coming in. You got Clemson coming in on the 27th. You can still make something out of this season because you have some good teams, good ACC teams coming into the schedule. Clemson is a lot better than you are. Let me start by saying that, okay? But they also show that they're vulnerable. Clemson, if you notice the rankings, they started at number 2, then they dropped to 3, and they dropped to 4. Pretty soon they'll be, well, I think they're number 4 now. Notre Dame, I think it's 5. But anyway, if you see they're dropping down a little because they're not convincing a lot of people. Well, you got Clemson at home. Then you go face NC State. NC State's ranked, what, 23, 22? So a victory of them could help you a lot. Now, the other game that you have on your schedule, you go at Notre Dame, South Bend. I remember 93, what happened when we went to South Bend. You don't win too many times there. You really don't. Notre Dame's looking very good this year. Then you come back home and you face BC. You remember BC, huh? That's the team that scored about 100 points on you last year and beat the living tar out of you on national TV. That was the worst loss that we suffered last year. That's the one that upset me the most because you were non-competitive. You laid down flat, and they beat the living tar out of you. But you have them again this year at home this time. So take care of them, please. Then you finish the season with your arch rival, Florida. You got Florida at home. Florida is very good. Is Florida back? I'm not sure if Florida is back all the way, but they are serious contenders for the for the ACC, Southeastern Conference Eastern Division. So you take care of your business, you can actually win about 7 or 8 games in this year with the idea of getting a lot better for next year. Because I see good things out of FSU coming up, but you got to take care of the little stuff, and that's what's killing you. Those little mistakes that you're all making. Come on, man. This is FSU. So with that being said, I'm going to end my podcast by saying, to those who listen, please give me your comments. I would like to hear from you. This is an opinion-based forum. Leave comments. I will try to answer all of them. I may not be in agreement with you, but I will be respectful. Please be respectful to me. I will be respectful to you. Okay? Remember, I am a fan. I'm not a fanatic. I'm not going to stand here and say Florida State is the greatest thing in the world. The New York Yankees are the greatest thing in the world. I look at them from a statistical standpoint of view. I analyze how they are. I realize that they have weaknesses and strengths. And I defend them when they need to be defended, and I condemn them. I probably come down harder on my teams than a lot of people do. But I would like to hear from you. So, guys, and you know who you are, please leave your comments. I'm dying to hear what you think. I'm dying to hear what you think of me talking. Sometimes I ramble too much. But until next time, guys, we got a good weekend of games coming up. After the season is over, we will be talking pro football, and we'll be talking hockey, and we'll talk a little basketball too. But anyway, until then, this is Sports Freak from the D saying goodbye and so long. Take care.